I'm Janella Massa outside Old City Hall courts, where more than 30 cases are still before the courts related to those sweeping pot dispensary raids from earlier this summer. Now, one lawyer says that his client's charges were dropped today, and it's an example that this whole ordeal was just a waste of time and resources, and it's clogging up our criminal justice system.
The basis was no reasonable prospect for conviction, so the Crown didn't see a case where a conviction could be resulted if it went to trial.
That's how Selwyn Pieters' client was able to walk away from Old City Hall Court today without a criminal conviction. He says a university student facing 3 counts of marijuana possession for purpose of trafficking was in court today for the 15th time to deal with charges stemming from a raid of a pot dispensary where he worked as a doorman.
Maybe one could say that the charges were frivolous and vexatious. Maybe one can say that it was a complete waste of court resources.
Pieters believes Toronto police were misguided in their approach, knowing full well that charges against 90 people arrested during May's Project Claudia raids likely wouldn't stick. And he says their move has left taxpayers on the hook unnecessarily.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars were spent in the court processes and the prosecution to lead to these withdrawal of the charges. So certainly quite a colossal waste of private and public resources.
We reached out to Toronto Police today. They say they'll continue to lay charges as long as Canada's current marijuana laws remain in place.
The police don't know what to do. The prosecutors don't know what to do. The law has not been changed.
This lawyer, who's represented 5 different clients swept up in the raids, says the finger should be pointed somewhere else.
You can't blame the prosecutors, who've been very fair about this and very practical. You can't blame the police for enforcing the law. The person to blame is Justin Trudeau.
Criminal charges were eventually withdrawn in all of Struthers' cases.
The owners were fined thousands of dollars for opening without a license, without a business permit. Thousands of dollars. And also had to promise not to open again until the city legislates this. They gave up on the federal government and Mr. Trudeau.
We've announced that our intention is to prepare legislation for next spring. That remains the plan, but as you go through this process, it is critically important for everyone to remember that the law is the law, and the law must be respected until it is changed.
I find the chaos that this government's allowed to exist for over a year to be totally unacceptable, and that we have these situations like we're seeing in Toronto courts existing is just unacceptable.
And that backlog is expected to continue for some time. Only 2 of the 33 cases were actually heard today in Old City Hall courts. The rest were put over for a later date.